Hi guys. So today's video is going to be filmed from up here. I'm joking, but I did want to give a little bit of a trigger warning before I sat down because I've literally just woken up. But you're about to see Eleanor and Neale fresh from the bed. Are you ready? Good morning, guys. I was gonna just get ready for my day, as one does, you know what I mean? But then I was like, what would happen if I put a camera on and started talking to it while I got ready for the day? Toxic productivity.
I'm sorry to hear that your grandma passed away. I actually am like, obviously I'm gonna be upset about that, ain't it?
Hi guys. So today, your internet big sister, Eleanor Neale, is here to give you some advice while I make myself look humanly presentable. I asked on Instagram for you guys to send me like loads of things that you might want advice on, like questions that you might want to ask like a big sister kind of figure, and I was gonna answer them. But like, disclaimer, I wouldn't even take my own advice, so like, let's see how this goes, eh? There's a knock at my door. Oh, I ordered Starbucks, forgot about that. Girls, that was the weirdest experience of my life. I opened the door and he was holding it like under his arm and he was just smiling at me and he went, "Delivery?" And I went, "Yeah, thank you." And I was like trying to put my arm out to like grab the bag off him and he wasn't moving it from under his arm, and I'm like, are we having a moment here? Are you like gonna ask me to marry you? I'll show you all what I got because I feel like I'll get questions otherwise. This is an iced matcha latte with soy milk and vanilla syrup. That is my go-to because I've stopped drinking coffee. It gives me headaches, all right? Don't give me a coffee or I'll get an headache, apparently. Maybe I should brush my hair. I actually can't believe I'm putting myself on the internet in such a state. What if it's just like all part of my charm? People can't even relate to this because no one is this ringing. Like, oh my God, it's like when Shane Dawson started to make all those jokes about like, oh, I never shower. And people were like, that's not even funny because we do. Like, that's not relatable. We shower. Anyway, I have showered. We'll start off with a bang, shall we? Because I got a lot of different like body confidence ones because I feel like you guys have watched my journey. You've seen me go from like really unconfident, quite insecure, to now like, well, not. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of that was my weight loss, but I have done a few other things, and I did do a few things while I was still bigger to try and improve my confidence, so I feel like I can help a little bit. Yeah, so kind of the question I'm gonna answer is like learning to like your body at whatever size it is. One of the first things I did when I was still big, before I even started my weight loss journey, was like, I think it's so important. You have to know what your body looks like. And I don't know if everyone can relate to this, but I was so insecure that I always used to wear clothes, like as many clothes as I could. Long sleeves, like long trousers, like big coats and jackets to like hide myself. And truthfully, I didn't really know what my body looked like, if that makes sense. Like, obviously you do. You see yourself in the mirror before you get in the shower and all that. You hide it so much that you actually don't really know. So one of my first pieces of advice, and this might sound a bit stupid, but this did work for me, is go and stand in front of the mirror, naked or in underwear if that's what you feel a bit more comfortable with, but obviously the less clothes the better because you're trying to really get to know your body. And this might be really uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, it was for me. But the more you do that and the more you actually come to terms with what your body looks like, you're gonna start to feel more comfortable. Shut up. How rude. I'm trying to give a speech. Oh, it's my family WhatsApp group. I'm so sorry, girlies. You keep talking. I am the one interrupting you right now. I think when you're insecure, especially if you're like me and you hide it with a lot of clothes and like you kind of forget a little bit like what your body looks like, you catastrophize it in your head. You're like, oh, I'm so disgusting. I'm this, I'm that. But like when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, actually, no, I'm not that bad. No, I'm not. Like, my brain has just been making that up because it doesn't actually properly know what I look like inch by inch. And I feel like the more comfortable you get with yourself, the more comfortable you will feel kind of showing yourself off, or maybe not even showing yourself off, but like going out into the world as yourself. That's like the first piece of advice I can give there. The next piece of advice, something that I've done kind of more recently, is find a style of clothes that you think suits your body. For me, this is like floaty little skirts. I'm wearing one right now. Floaty little skirts and going in at the waist, because my kind of body type, my stomach fat or whatever is kind of concentrated on the bottom. I've got like a little bit of a pouch at the bottom. I think a lot of people do, but mine is a big pouch because I've lost a lot of weight and then like it just kind of goes to the bottom. I kind of want to hide that, not necessarily hide it, but I just feel more confident when I'm wearing flowy skirts that don't show that off. I don't have like a small waist, but it is smaller compared to the pouch at the bottom. So I like to pinch myself in at the waist and cover what I'm not the most gassed about, which is my pouch. And then that gives me the most confidence I've ever felt in the world. I did this last summer, but just in general, not necessarily to do with my body, just in general for my positivity. Affirmations, girl. I know it's such a basic thing, but I used to go and stand in front of the mirror every morning and tell myself that I'm confident and that I'm funny and that I'm this and that I'm that. All the things that I was like hard on myself about. Basically, what I'm trying to get at with all this mirror stuff is that you need to be your biggest fan before you can feel confident and comfortable. You need to be on your own side here, because it sounds so morbid, but you are the only person that you've got. You know what I mean? Like, in your head, all day, 24/7, it's you. And if you up here does not like you, then you're already at a conflict. You're already gonna feel insecure and bad in yourself. So you've got to learn to at least be nice to yourself. If you can't love the way that you look, at least be nice to yourself about it. I feel like the confidence will come with time. He acts like he likes me, but then he doesn't. I presume that means he's like giving you mixed signals and stuff. And the first thing I would say to you, and I think you already know this, he doesn't like you. If he is not consistent in the way that he's behaving with you, I'm so sorry to break this to you because this is so shit, we've all been through it, but he doesn't. Like, you need to stop wasting time on that boy that is not all for you and go and find one that is. Because there are boys out there that'll not give you mixed signals. Like, they'll act consistent because that's what you want as well. Do you want to be in a relationship with this boy who is not consistent, who sends mixed signals? You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be with someone like that. I don't know. Hinge is free. Actually, I don't know how old you are. Don't go on dating apps when you're too young because that'll f up your head. Oh, stop swearing. That'll be really bad for your head. Honestly, baby, there's so many more fish in the sea, and that fish sounds like a bit of a wrong un. Like, put that one back in river, girl. There's so many more. Okay, tips and advice on moving far away. So yeah, last year, I've been here about a year now. I left Yorkshire, and now I'm in London. And I'm not gonna lie, I really struggled at first. Not like really struggled, but I found it hard to find my groove. I've only just started feeling at home in the last like year, and in the last year I've been here for a year. I mean, this year I'm gonna burp. Maybe I'm not. Sorry, I just blue ballsed you with a burp. Yeah, I've only started to feel like properly at home and properly comfortable in 2022. It took me, I moved here in March last year? So it took me a full year almost to feel this way. And the most important thing that I have found about like finding your groove in a new place is find a good group of friends. Find a good group of friends right now. Honestly, use things like Bumble BFF, especially if you're in a big city. I've met a couple of girls on Bumble BFF. Don't really talk to them that much anymore, but that's fine. It was fun to hang out with them a little bit at the time. Be careful, obviously, meeting people online. But I think Bumble is quite safe when they do the profile verifications and stuff, and you know, go through all the normal stranger danger protocols. But yeah, having a good group of friends will make you feel at home more than knowing your area, more than being part of like classes and groups in your new area. Having a good group of friends is what home is to me. Wow, that was so cringe. Like, if you feel comfortable and happy and loved, don't matter where you are, you know? Oh, my friend's watching this. Oh, Jake editing this, like, he's a Capricorn, so he is watching this like, shut the f up. One of the things I will say is that you probably will be homesick. Like, that's inevitable, but make sure you're planning in like regular trips home, or if that's not possible, regular FaceTimes, and like make group chats with the people at home. Like, make sure you're checking in with them morning and night and whatever. Update them on your day, give them a daily rundown. And also just explore. Get to know the place that you live until it becomes home. Okay, advice on setting boundaries and telling people no. When I saw this question, I really wanted to answer it, because this is something that I am going through right now. I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been say yes to absolutely everything so that you don't disappoint anyone. And it was making me so ill. It used to be more in like a work sense, where I would say yes to like every single video that people wanted me to make, and I overloaded myself. I made myself so physically ill for like 3 years on YouTube. Now I've started doing like 4 videos a month, and I'm finally starting to like get a life outside of YouTube. Can you believe that? And now I'm kind of struggling with it in the opposite way, in that I always say yes to social things even when I don't really want to do them. So it's something I'm still kind of working through. My main advice for this one would be try and be your own best friend. That's my advice for a lot of things in life. I have really tried to go on like a journey of becoming my own best friend this year. Sounds so cringe, but it's one of the best things that you can do. Because like I said before, you're the only person that you've got up in your brain 24/7. Why would you not want to be best friends with that? You know what I mean? And if your best friend was like taking on too much work, for example, I don't know this person's exact situation, so I'll use mine as an example. But if your best friend was taking on too much work and making themselves ill, what would you say to them? You'd be like, girl, stop it. Look at what this is doing to you. This is not worth it. Like you would tell her to stop. So why don't we listen to ourselves, you know? Becoming your own best friend is actually one of the best things you can do. I might do a full video on it because I have done so many things, especially over the last few months, to really try to become like a more independent person. What to do if the person you want is in a hoe phase. Girly, I'm so sorry to say this, there ain't nothing you can do. Like, you cannot stop a person's hoe phase no matter how much you try. Like, if they need that, they need that. And they're gonna have that. You could try and tie them down. They might still be messaging other people. They might still, like, they might even go and cheat on you because that's clearly what, I mean, I say that's what they need as if that's like one of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is just shagging loads of people. Like, that's clearly the stage of life that they're in. They want to go out and have fun and be free and not tied down. And if you try to tie them down, it might just end badly. You wanna know how I know this? Because I was in a hoe phase once. Yep, yours truly, hoe. She a hoe. Well, not really. It really wasn't, like, compared to some of my mates' hoe phases, mine was very tame. Very, very tame. So I feel like this one's a bit niche, but I think I can really help with this one. So this girl said, I'm always angry at my boyfriend and I don't want to be. What do I do? So I can kind of relate to this one because I used to be just quite an angry person in general. And I hated that about myself. Like, for like a year or two, like my default response to things was just to get like miffed off at things. I wasn't like an angry person in that I was like out in the street shouting at strangers, but like, you know, something had happened and it had put me in a mood or something like that, and I hated it. And so I actually talked about this with my therapist because I've had a therapist for a while now. And he was like, often when people are angry at the world, it's because they've got some like unresolved anger inside themselves towards a situation. And me and my therapist were able to pinpoint that all of my anger was coming from work stress. And like I said, I'm working a lot less this year. I'm down to 4 videos a month. And let me tell you, I have never been more happy in my life. I'm not an angry person whatsoever. Like, I cannot remember the last time I was in a mood. Well, no, I get in moods around my period, but you know, that's allowed. But like, you know, for no reason or for like over little things, I can't remember the last time I was in a mood or the last time I like flew off the handle at something. And that's because I've resolved that inner anger towards like my work in myself, and now everything is so much more enjoyable. It would be helpful for you to try and get therapy for this if you can, although I know therapy is not the most accessible thing, especially if you're in the UK. There's a lot of like waiting lists and stuff on the NHS, but try and even do self-therapy. See if you can figure out where that anger is in yourself. I mean, I'm not diagnosing you and saying that this is your issue, that your anger is actually lying elsewhere, but that was the case with me, and I feel like it could be useful for you to like get a notebook out and try and figure out what in your life is stressing you out or making you angry, or like something in your past that you might still be holding on to that you haven't like gotten over or forgiven someone for, and maybe that's your answer. Maybe then you have to work on healing that part of yourself to then become yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sorry if that one's quite niche. I don't know how many people will be able to relate to just being an angry mangry. I got a lot of questions about like sexuality and coming out and kind of trying to figure out your sexuality, and I feel like that's such a big topic for me to try and cover in one video. So if you enjoy this advice video, I could even make it a series and we could do like different topics. Like we could do a body episode or a sex episode or a sexuality episode. But yeah, I got a lot of questions mainly about people like trying to figure out their sexuality, because I know my audience is very young. Well, a lot of you are quite young, and honestly with this one I don't really have that much advice. So basically I'll tell you how I figured it out. I didn't know that I was bi until I was 18 years old and I went to college, and it was literally when I met one girl there and I was like, she is beautiful and I like her in a different way than I like my female friends. It was like I met this girl and I was like, oh, I'm attracted to her. In the past, it had always been like, oh, I want to look like her, or oh, I want her hair. Whereas this one was like, yeah, I would have looked like her if I could have, because she was beautiful. But it was more like I want to kiss her. So it's one of those things, I didn't rush it. I literally didn't even think about it. It just kind of like sprung itself on me one day. So that was my kind of unique experience. So I don't know how equipped I am to give advice on like, you know, people that are like thinking in their head for years, like, oh, am I this? Am I that? I never had that. It was just like one day I was like, oh, yeah, I'm bi. Yeah, I am. But one of the pieces of advice that I'll try and give is like, what's the rush? You're probably quite young, and even if you're not, life is so long and it's an enjoyable journey. Don't stress yourself out over this. Just like let yourself be on this journey. I mean, that's probably easier for me to say when I've got it figured out. It's probably quite a cloud over your head at the moment. But basically what I'm trying to say is try not to let it be a cloud. You can't really do anything to rush yourself in this instance because it's just your brain. So like, what are you actually gonna do? Tell your brain to like figure it out quicker? You can't do that. Brains don't work like that. If you're old enough and you feel comfortable, dating apps can be incredible. Just set yourself to whatever sexuality you're thinking you could be, and you don't even have to meet up with these people. Just chat to them. Obviously, don't lead anyone on. That's not fair. But you know, just a bit of flirting, you know, that could lead to something, but it doesn't have to. I feel like there's nothing that you can do to rush that. And it's something that you'll figure out in time, but you will figure it out and it'll be fine. And it's really not that big of a deal. So you got this. I got a lot of people asking about like virginity. The question that I'll answer in this video is like, what age should you lose your virginity? Because as soon as I read this question, I was like, oh baby, like there ain't no age. Virginity, oh my God, let me scream this from the rooftops. Virginity doesn't even exist. Virginity is a made up social construct rooted in misogyny that men developed like fucking hundreds of years ago to either deem women pure or tainted. Like that. What do you mean? Like, it actually makes me really, really mad. And there's so many different ways that you could break your hymen. Let me just say that you don't actually break your hymen in sex. I mean, some people can, but like a lot of people don't actually break it. But anyway, that's kind of what's referred to with like losing your virginity, isn't it? It's the breaking of the hymen. But there's so many different ways that you could actually do that that's not sex. Like you could do it in horse riding or gymnastics, or like, if that's the case, I lost my virginity to a tampon. Is that oversharing? Probably, but but men wouldn't consider all of that, like riding a horse or putting a tampon in, as losing your virginity, would they? Even though that is technically what broke these girls' hymens, they only consider losing your virginity having sex for the first time. Having straight sex for the first time as well, think about that. If that doesn't tell you that doesn't even exist, like virginity does not even exist. But the biggest piece of advice that I could give you is age literally doesn't matter. Get that out of your head right now. Age does not matter. What matters is that you are doing it with someone that you trust, someone that respects you. You don't have to be in love with them. They don't have to be a soulmate. I mean, that would be nice, but just as long as there's mutual trust and respect and they like you and value you as a person, then go for it and have fun no matter what age you are. Well, obviously over the legal age of consent, Jesus. But like other than that, 16 and up in the UK. I think I might leave it there, to be honest. I feel like I've blabbed on for ages and I ain't even done my makeup yet. I was supposed to sit here and do like my hair, my makeup. Maybe next time. I can talk for England, me, can't I? Anyway, it's been lovely seeing yous. Come back again soon. I'll put kettle on. Just give us a bell like 2 minutes before you arrive and I'll make sure kettle's on. Anyway, bye, love you. Bye.